Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, we're going to have the conversation we should have had a while ago. Happy Father's Day. I miss this stupid old man. I'm having dreams about him now. Asmodeus realized that if I get up and I go back to bed, not for long, not like I've given up, but just go back to bed for like an hour at most, I start to have dreams. I'm not dreaming during my main sleep, but if I take a little extra nap after, I'm finally getting dreams. And not surprisingly, I've been having a lot of dreams about a certain old man. And this morning I had one where the screen door slammed, and I knew it was a dream, but it sounded so real, like he was home. And I expected to get up and find him home, and he wasn't home. And I had a dream about something that's on Asmodeus's altar, and two things were put into it. And one was something I have that's very old, so I thought it was like talking about family or something. And one was something I don't have, I assure you. It was a little crown princess ring with like those jewels in it, like dollar store quality. Because, like, sarcasm, like, here's for the little princess. At first I thought, is Asmodeus trying to talk to me? But then it felt like, no, this was like old man sarcasm. Though I could be wrong on the interpretation of the dream. And I miss him. I miss him, especially it's Father's Day. I miss him. And I was actually thinking, I wonder if I howl like a wolf, if he'll come back. Kind of crazy, random ideas that enter your head if you work with the old man, because he's kind of crazy and random himself. So buckle in, kids. Um, I got a back here. He used to get me up in the middle of the night or crack of dawn for no reason other than to grab the cameras and go for a walk and get exercise and be excited and be pumped like we were going out for military training and isn't this fun and da da da. And I was so tired, and you guys used to suffer. See, I know back here. I was so tired, and you guys used to have to suffer through it, and then for some reason, all the batteries stopped working. You guys are sick of hearing it, but I have like two or three batteries for each camera, two or three chargers, and no combination will work. So yeah, the cameras are there, but the batteries won't charge, and I'm just not going to throw any more money at it. I'm like, this is not working for some reason. Um. And, I missed that. I miss how mean and insulting he was. I missed how he like controlling the menu of the house. I miss a lot of stuff about him. I miss how he pushed me to study the runes. I miss how he pushed me to study. I miss all this other stuff. Asmodeus doesn't have the same personality, and I told him I have zero interest in Asmodeus developing this because honestly, Odin had a chip on his shoulder and an attitude problem. And I got, I can't confirm. He was touchy and he was twitchy and he didn't like a lot of other gods. And, I miss a god that's so unstable, bonkers, crazy that he will be in your mind's eye, you're walking to say the library or something, and there's this god railing that if God wants to come down and fight him, come down and fight me. And then he thinks of it, and full of mischief, he points at you and goes, "Fight her. I've trained her." I looked at him like, "Thanks a lot, buddy. You're quite welcome. You will die in glory." I miss that. I miss him. I really do. And I know he's not coming back. And I've been having blips lately, and I know it's just I miss him. And then I said, I thought it was a sign from the old man, the dream this morning. So I was yelling at him in my mind as I come down the stairs. Well, if it's you, you stupid old man. Because that's how we talk to each other. We insulted each other all the time. I want to have a sign, and I mean a good sign. Don't you do anything wrong. Don't you dare. I will curse you. I will curse you. And and I want this sign, and it better be a good sign, it better be fantastic, and listen to me, you stupid old man. Are you listening to me, or are you listening to me, or are you doing that thing where you go like this, and you're not listening anymore because I'm a woman? Now you listen to me. I'm starting to wonder why I left, aren't you? And, of course, no sign came because it's not Odin. And it's just, I miss him, and I'm going to keep having dreams about him coming home for a while. And I'm going to everything time I hear a song that he liked, I'm going to be like, because something came on the radio last night, and a couple videos have been popping up on YouTube for me that he loved, and sometimes that's a punk like that, and I have to admit that I miss him, and I still do, and I love him, and I wish he were here because, for as nasty tempered, foul tempered as he could be, He, for a guy that's not supposed to eat, he thought with his belly, or at least he realized armies move on their belly. So I just whine at him, and he was pretty good about stuff. I don't mean he clapped his hands and a side of beef appeared on my stove or anything, but he always managed to find a way to get stuff, to get stuff where Asmodeus, being an architect and everything else, he is also associated with food, but he's usually thinking of making things beautiful. And great, we spent the money making things beautiful, but now I'm hungry for this or I'm hungry for that. I did go out to the DQ yesterday and kind of wished I didn't because, the guy wasn't being mean or anything, but let's just say people need to learn to leave other people alone. He wasn't being mean, but I think it was that kind of some people aren't used to seeing other human beings and they've forgotten how to act. And now everything seems to be a touch point, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Odin would have had me just rip this guy broadsides, and Asmodeus is like, remember your manners. And I'm like, I really should. Uh, I'll rip this guy broadsides, but I'm being told to mind my manners. He wasn't even being rude, but it wasn't any of his business what he was talking about either. So, I think he was trying to be friendly, but stay away from me. So, anyhow, see, you could tell I belong to the old man for a while at least. And I have some of the old man's mannerisms, at least the ones he had with me, and I'll tell you what I think. At least I did before YouTube changed the standards. And, Loki used to feed off of him, and he and Loki could have, kind of almost a mean sense of humor at times. And now with Asmodeus here, Loki's a lot nicer, and Loki actually became nicer over time because Odin will not hold back. He will pin your ears back and melt all the paint off your bard. He will not hold back. Anytime somebody tells me, but he's such a sweet old man, I'm like, yeah, wait, I had a honeymoon period too, dear. Wait until the real Odin shows up, and then you're like, I did not sign up for this. It's just like, yeah, he's something, ain't he? It's why a lot of his relationships with humans don't last. He's the one that left this time, but, and I don't think he's coming back, but, I miss him. I miss him. He was mean. He was mean for the fun of it. He liked insulting people. He'd insult me. He'd pick random fights. We'd fight over everything. I fight with Asmodeus, but I'm trying to not hurt Asmodeus's feelings. To me, he's not the same class to fight with. I'm getting this offended feeling. He's not the same class to fight with. Odin once told me, he said, don't you dare ever hold back in a fight. Oh no, and I'll be insulted. And I was like, you sure about this? And he instigated things. In the mind's eye, came to me and went like this. And I said, hey, don't do that. What are you going to do? And he put his hand in the mind's eye, put his hand like this, facing me. And I said, back off, old man, or you'll do what? And I was really polite at the time. Or I'll show you. Oh, what are you going to do? Oh, break your hand. Really? Can you do that? And finally, all my anger came up and I shoved him back. And he's like, see, that's what I want. So we would really go at each other hammer and tongs, where I really hold back with Asmodeus. This kind of offended energy of like, I'm associated with war too. But I hold back with Asmodeus because his feelings get hurt. He has feelings. I'm not sure if Odin has feelings or he generates them for convenience sake. Again, yeah, I know what you mean. And I watch what I say with Asmodeus. I watch how I fight with Asmodeus. I'm nowhere near as mean with Asmodeus when we fight. I actually am holding back every time we have a fight, so I'm frustrated. And he's like, it feels like the position he's coming from is a more emotional hurt one, a more angry one, or a more whatever one. Where with Odin, it was just pure rage and I'm coming at you, what are you going to do about it? So I had no problem trying to knock Odin down, and Odin had no problem trying to knock me down. I've read people that write about Asmodeus who are like, yeah, when he wants a fight, he doesn't hold back. But since he does things around here like Pelt when he doesn't get his way, I'm not going to go at him full court. And since he's usually nice and purring and Asmodeus tail wags and all this other stuff he does. I'm not going to go at him like I go at the old man. I couldn't. I would consider it dishonorable. I wouldn't consider it good to go at him. And I don't need him to be Odin the second. But I do hold back when we have disagreements because it's clear he's trying to be polite. He's trying to be a gentleman, but he's losing it. And I'm not going to go at him like that. And Loki tried to volunteer, but Loki's become too nice too. And I'm like, I need someone to fight with. I need some cranky old man who hates the world and hates me, and I need to fight with him. I'm losing my edge because I don't have an old man to yell at before the videos. And he says, well, I think that's stupid. And I go, yeah, I'll prove you wrong, old man. You just watch. And I'm losing my edge because I don't have that. I don't have an old man to yell at. So happy Father's Day. I miss the old father. It is, it is though. That was part of what he was ballast to me. His energy is kind of dampening and held me down. But it was also, it was that here's something for you to fight against. Here's to get all your anger out. The restrictions were a lot easier to take when I could go over and yell at an old man and he could yell at me, and then we could go find a violent video game and play it and be yelling things at each other while I played. And for a little bit, he'd be laughing at me every time I died because I'd be bad at these games. But then, after a while, he was on my side. We were fighting together. That was a lot of fun. Asmodeus doesn't even want me going anywhere near those kind of games. He's like, ugh. And I'm like, are you sure you're Asmodeus? Because he has the bloody mace, or don't you go back that far? And he just kind of stares at me. And I was working on an Asmodeus temple. I put a war room in for him, so I'm like, I just don't know. So Asmodeus and I have known each other for years, and he's just been that way with me. I'm not getting the warrior with him. I'm like, it's in there somewhere, but it's not interested in me. So where the old man is kind of creepy and psychotic, and he's like, they call me the god of the hanged. So, I miss that. I miss that creepy old psychopath who would start talking to you at random about necromancy and cursing people. I miss him. I miss him so much. And I know most people are like, unsub, unsub, unsub. I miss that. I miss his crazy. I miss his chaos. I miss the sometimes pure spite, and I swear undiluted evil, even though I don't believe in the concept that could come out of one individual. He was nasty. I miss that. So we had a wake for the old man. So welcome to Odin's wake, I guess. Loki has sympathy. Loki has sympathy. And, I said, I can't imagine how you two got together other than when he's here, you're like his carbon copy. He's like, yeah. Oh, poor Loki, poor baby. And it's like the Norse gods come in at night, I think, to check in on me. Like, not like they're going to truly stay, but it will seem like they're going to stay, and then in the morning they're gone. I think they're checking in on me. They're like, you did the best you could. You just couldn't heathen for him. And I think that's why he left me, because I couldn't heathen for him. And I think he really meant it about the wolf and bear pelts. Let's just say I'm not Odin grade material. There are parts of him that would empathize with not wanting to harm an animal. And then there was the part that I asked you for a damn bear pelt. Where is it? And I think I washed out. I don't think I was mean enough for Odin. I wouldn't care. If someone was going to eat the meat and they made a bear pelt, fine. He can have it. But one, that's too expensive for me, and he was never exactly ponying up the money for a bear or a wolf pelt, because that's a couple $1,000s a piece. At least, some run like 20 or 40 or something. Depends on, where they got it and how high the quality is and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I just don't, have the money, and I don't know if it's even legal in the state. And I said, if it is legal, I need papers. And they would need to provide me with papers of, where it was taken, and, this is what happened, and here's your paper, and everything else. I said, they can still take it from you. It's just that if you have a paper, they can't press charges or something. It's a weird law, and it keeps changing in the state. So I said, I'm not I'm not comfortable. And I said, they can produce a paper, but it could have been, called illegally or something. That's why you have to have the papers in the state to show that, yes, this was shot by a verified hunter, and here's where they shot it, and here's who cured the hide and everything else. That's why you need this paperwork in this state. And I said, it's just exhausting. And I said, if you could get it gifted to me, and I told him this for years, I said, get it gifted to me. Have someone give me something like that. Then if, how are the cops going to do it? What are they going to do? Come do a random home search because the super werewolf cop smelled a beer pelt? I said, they're not going to do that. I said, if you would have got it gifted to me, it would have been fine. He's a stubborn old man. He is stubborn, 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 and mean too. So I think it's because I wouldn't heathen. I wouldn't ever get him the bear wolf pelt. But I was like, dude, it's legally out of my hands. If we lived in, like, say, another country where you could have all that you wanted, I'd probably go to the store and just buy you something. But I said, this is different. So, I'm still gonna monetize that because I think I was plenty long. We had our differences. I think that's why he left me. I think at the end, me not heathening because he was really pushing for it was getting at him, and he was also pushing me towards more. I think he could definitely be more conservative than I am. He would be the conservative, I think, loosely speaking, because he can be plenty liberal. And Loki would be the liberal, though they can flip on you too. It's not a political channel, but um, he would ask me stuff. Like, he will always test you. He would say, "Those are pretty hats, huh?" Yeah, it's a nice color. Why don't we go watch one of his speeches? So I'd be sitting here watching who speak. And he would just, it's in his nature. He would test me all the time. He'd be like, "What do you think of what he's saying?" I said, he's a Gemini, and he has that Gemini ability to charm people, to come off as so reasonable. Now listen, it's all gonna go away, okay? Listen to me. And everybody's gonna be saying, watch my tiny hands. Everybody, I got out of laughter. Everybody's gonna be saying how smart I am. I'm a super genius. I'm the superest genius that ever geniused. Everybody says it. Everybody knows I'm smart. It's kind of scary that he doesn't still have a platform now on YouTube or Facebook, Twitter or something, because I'd rather he be where I can keep an eye on him. It's kind of exhausting having to go out into the wild to look for news articles. So what do you say now? Oh, dear Lord. I really don't care, but it's like every so often you want to see what he's up to, and it's like it'd be more convenient if he were just, on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or something saying something. Um, because the thing is, if he moves platforms, he's just harder to find. And it's harder to know what he's got going on. It's harder to know what people got going on. If they were all right here on YouTube, You'd know. NSA engines could take a break. They could all just watch YouTube, drink coffee, go, mm-hmm. Got our job done, Chief, and, go out the door. I got giggles back here. Well, we're going to try to push it with this one and see if I can monetize it. I have to be myself, guys. I really don't care. I don't like this leader we have now either. So just to be fair, for you people that are about to unsub, I don't like his leader either. I don't like any leader we've ever had. I hate this one too. Granting the church rights to do such and such and such. I knew it. I knew it. I was like, you watch us bite us. You watch us bite us. I was like, there you go. Happy Pride Month. Sarcasm. So yeah, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have Pride Month, and then I'm going to let churches not let you adopt children because I love everybody. Wishy-washy. Bro. But I'm gonna get my channel taken away. But I miss Odin because Odin and I would talk about that. Asmodeus will kind of like draw back from that conversation, and Odin would be like, "No, yell about it. Tell me what you think." And I'd say, "Here's what I think." And I spent a lot of time on ex-Catholic, ex-Mormon, ex-Christian, a lot of other Reddits because they're the people saying the unfiltered stuff I wish I could see on camera. But yeah, so I love you guys, I do, but I miss the old man. I know you guys hated him with a passion because he is an old bastard. I'll be the first one to say that. He is mean. He's mean for no reason. He's mean for the fun of it. He's like a cat. I often said he should be. I associate Loki with cats. I said Odin should be the god of cats because he's mean for the fun of it. Come over and be like, "Pow! What was that for?" And, he had Gungnir, and anyone that served him knows he. There are books that make it sound more extreme, but he will use that as an accenting device. And I would say, "You hit me with that one more time, old man. I swear you're gonna be wearing it." Poke, poke, poke. And there's a reason people hate him. And the lore, there are reasons a lot of Lokeans despise him, but um it's kind of like, if you believe that part of the lore, I'm like, well, yeah, that's Odin. That's Odin's vengeance. That's how he is. He's nasty. Don't cross him. He'll get revenge on you. Whatever you take from him, he'll take from you with interest. That's the old man. That's the nature of the beast. There are people that they were like, that story makes him look great, as towards, bringing justice to Loki. But I'm like, no, that makes him look scary because you take something from the old man, he's like the mafia. He'll come take from you with interest. I'm like, no, this is his true nature coming out if you believe that story. I'm like, he is scary in the lore. He is scary in the lore. Walking through a field, needs to create a job opening so he can go try to get the mead back. And there's, I think, nine, is it nine? Nine servants in the field, and they're all, chopping down stuff. And he goes and says, "Could I try to work too?" And they're like, "Sure." Takes out this magic stone. He, gets his scythe, and he can chop a lot more. And they all go, "Oh, how can I get that? Oh, how can I get that?" And he says, "Well, I will throw it up in the air, and whoever catches it can have it." And the men are overcome by their lust and greed for this magical sharpening stone. He throws this whetstone into the air, and they all jump up, and they all, on purpose, try to decapitate each other. All nine fall dead. Odin catches the stone, goes, goes up to the boss man. "Hey, you won't believe it. All your people just killed each other. It's so mysterious. You need to hire me. I can do their work." That's all you need to know about the old man. Not exactly Jesus, is he? I got nope. Yeah, that's all you need to know about the old man. He's something else, and he likes to pick women for some reason, and women should be like, "I'm staying clear," because he's known for fathering dynasties and never coming back. Like, what do you want? I gave you children. You should be the He's bad and he's good for nothing, and I love him and I miss him. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I really needed to finally do that. We kind of had a morning, had a wake for the old man. So hopefully you guys had something to eat. I might suggest it down in the description. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.